Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. Like, what is a woman?
Well,
can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't.
What do you define a woman as?
An adult human female. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not myself.
You used the word, so what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right?
In a world where facts are optional and feelings are king, Matt Walsh steps in with a sledgehammer of common sense. Woke culture is out here twisting reality until it barely recognizes itself, and Matt is having none of it. From gender debates to the latest pronoun gymnastics, Matt's here to remind everyone that logic doesn't bend to your feelings. Ready to see how he tears apart the absurdity?
Hi, Matt. I'm transgender. I'm born and raised here in New Mexico. I'm a mother.
I'm going to say you wouldn't fool me at all. I mean, I see a man 100%, and I think that most people would. Now, the fact that you have people in your life who are saying to you, "Oh, you're totally a woman," it's exactly what I'm talking about. No one in my life has ever once said to me, "You're totally a man, Matt." How you pick any actual woman in this room? In what way do you know that you belong in the same category as them?
I know because they tell me. So here was the...
You need them to tell you what you are? You're saying that you discovered that you're a woman. I'm asking you how you did. That's a very fair question.
Okay.
How do you know that you're a woman?
That's fine. All right. So first of all, listening to transgender people. And it was like, okay, this is a one-off, one person describing these things. Things like looking at yourself in the mirror and not recognizing yourself.
Woke culture claims to be all about trusting the science until biology steps into the room. Apparently, chromosomes and basic anatomy are just suggestions these days. You've got people insisting there are more genders than items on a fast food menu, but Matt Walsh knows better. He's that guy who stands in the middle of the gender circus and says, "Hold up, you really want me to believe that XX and XY are open to interpretation?" Walsh breaks it down.
So you've talked a lot about the mental illness and depressed and anxious population in the trans community, but you don't talk about the happy people in the trans community.
Okay.
Many people in my life have had these interventions made and it's saved their lives. I can list dozens of people in my life.
For thousands of years, human beings existed, and there was no such thing as trying to medically transition people into another gender. And as far as we know, there was no suicide epidemic because of it. You are making a claim that contradicts common sense, science, biology.
Biology doesn't care about your hashtags. It's not fluid, it's factual. And every time woke warriors try to rewrite the rules, they end up getting schooled by reality itself. Matt Walsh takes a magnifying glass to the chaos of pronouns, where using he or she has become a dangerous game.
How would you define a woman, Mr. Walsh?
An adult human female.
How doesn't a transgender woman fit that definition?
Female.
Because they're not. You said that you are a biological male, correct?
I said I'm transgender. I might be intersex for all we know. About almost as many people in the world are transgender as intersex, and a lot of people don't know.
Well, but that's a different conversation. Intersex, that's a genetic anomaly, that's a medical condition. Statement that human beings have two legs, okay? A person being born with one leg doesn't mean that now legs are on a spectrum and we can't say anything at all about how many legs a person has. Who knows? They could be a centipede. You said you're an EMT. Okay, if you're responding to a health emergency, biological male, and they say to you, I think I'm having a miscarriage. Would you check them to see if they're having a miscarriage? Would you consider that a possibility for them?
Respect my pronouns is the battle cry, but Matt sees through the charade. He's the first to point out that you can't expect people to memorize a never-ending list of identities like it's a pop quiz. His approach? Stick with the basics. Why? Because communication falls apart when words lose meaning. Walsh dismantles this woke obsession with changing the rules of language every 5 minutes. Matt Walsh has an incredible knack for calling out the victim Olympics, where woke culture constantly competes for who's got it worse. Whether it's who's the most oppressed or who deserves the loudest applause for being brave.
We're talking about gender and sex, and there's a lot of controversies there. If we're talking about a trans woman has all of the male physical characteristics, so would that not be a male then? Couldn't we plainly say?
Well, I guess it's like, why are you asking the question? I think I want to understand sort of why that's so important. So if someone tells you...
Just to sort of understand reality, you know?
Well, I mean, I think when someone tells you who they are, you should believe them. So if a person says that they're a woman or they're a man, then that's them telling you their gender is. I'm not so sure what's. Yeah, I mean, I'm really uncomfortable with that language of like getting to the truth.
Walsh steps in to remind everyone that this isn't the oppression Olympics. People aren't defined by how many identity boxes they check off. Matt sees right through the virtue signaling and fake moral superiority. Woke warriors want you to believe they're all about equality, but they've turned victimhood into a currency, and Matt's here to declare it bankrupt.
Here's the thing, when you're female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies, we could dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being.
Interesting. So I'm trying to understand. Your definition is that a woman is someone who is...
Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. It's like, what is a woman?
Well,
can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't.
Matt Walsh's documentary, What is a Woman?, lit a fire under the woke movement like nothing before. Walsh decided to go straight for the jugular and ask, what is a woman? The documentary showcased just how far we've fallen down the rabbit hole of gender politics, where something as basic as defining woman has become a philosophical black hole.
We are seeing kids that are identifying as animals. The teachers are not allowed to question it because it's considered a queer identity. Yes, so it's not just
schools are
the
like
young ones.
literal zoos now, basically.
They are.
I am a 27-year-old transgender woman. I am a wolf-therian and a member of the furry fandom.
And when Elon Musk himself retweeted it, saying, every parent should watch this, well, that's when things really kicked off. What is a woman? Showed us one shocking thing. No one on the woke side could answer that question. PhD professors, medical experts, activists, each of them froze like a deer in headlights when faced with it. The same people who claim to champion women's rights suddenly couldn't define what a woman actually is. Matt Walsh masterfully exposes this absurdity, watching as these so-called experts tie themselves in knots. It's almost comedic. People claiming to know everything about gender but can't even explain the basics. Say no to being woke, and if you want to see comedians tearing down woke clowns, click on the video below. We'll see you next time. Cue the outro song.
We are the anti-woke police, here to save the world. You see.